Alright, so my attempt to actually glue the little pieces across the bottom here and just have it hanging here did not work as well. I did have it all the way across this section when I was trying to glue on the third piece for thickness and more strength, just the weight of these 1-inch clamps, the thing came crashing down. And like I said before, this is I designed this, the whole thing's going to come off so we can change the street lights when it's finished. So there'll be street light posts along this edge like that. So we'll be able to pull the plywood off, rewire it, the street light, and put it back down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this thing, I haven't glued these down yet, so that's just free sitting. I'm going to take the whole thing off, we're going to flip it upside down on my workbench, and we will glue these gray pieces along the bottom, same as we tried before. So we need a red Robertson for the screws that are in here, and that should be it. What you doing there, cat? Meow. All my red Robertsons seem to have a bent shaft for some reason. This is the straightest one I have. All right. Alright, I just found, I thought that this shaped piece was actually screwed to the plywood, but once we get it apart I can screw that on and it's no problem. It's flush with the edge, be fine. Alright. Alrighty then. I'm gonna go take off my good coat because we don't need to get any paint or anything on this, or glue, or any kind of stain. We'll be back to red plaid. Well, before we begin here, I have to kind of clean my workstation up. This vacuum chamber there, I use it to... Where's that last body in there? Anyway. So like this. When I'm mixing up the resin plastic for the bodies, I suck the air out of the plastic before I pour it to get rid of the bubbles. Actually, you can see here, I've poured, I know they have a little colored plastic, but this is a resin body cast in clear. Get out into the light. All right. You can see that there. Can you see that there? So this is a resin body cast in clear. You can see the bubbles all through the plastic. Those white stain, these are all just quick goes. So even though you think you've poured it slow and you don't have any bubbles. There is actually still air inside that plastic mix. And this is one where I've sucked the air, used the vacuum chamber to take the air bubbles out of the plastic. So you can see, except for that colored plastic, or whatever the other plastic, pretty air bubble free. Kind of smashed up. Oh, damage. The clear plastic dries more brittle than the regular resin. Anyways, back to cleaning off the work desk. Cleared, well, except for the clamps from the mess. I've cleared out the drive-in. Still a little messy there. We'll clean that up. Said once we have little scrap. This guy seems somehow got a tire around his head. I don't know how that happened. And the other guy is down. Must have had a tornado on the trees. Get that all rigged up. I have. This is 1/64 piano wire. And this is cut down window screen. And we're going to attach. It'll be over in here. We will attach that to there. And then we get fence. This is my homemade infrared LED bridge with the holes for the sensors in the track. The NASCAR, I'll call them, these are my COVID cars. When COVID first hit, I started making COVID cars. These are Mega G's. They have Neo 42 magnets in them. And they run pretty good. They run good. This is Ricky Bobby. Because, well, Nate said he would race me if I had built a Ricky Bobby car. So, there's a Ricky Bobby with 52s. I'll be racing my... These has Neo 52s in it too. These 3 Ford GTs have the Neo 52 magnets. These are old Mega G's. All these Formula 1s with the broken wings. Actually, this one's pretty good. I'm going to attempt to make a mold. And we'll see how that works on those. Alright. Because then if you lose a wing, it's just a car. It's just a car. Hey, it's not, well, I don't know what these, with a Mega G chassis in them now. I don't know, on eBay people want over $100 a piece for them now. This is a Mega G Plus 1.5 chassis with a terribly painted Chevy Nomad body on it. Actually, I dug that body out of scrap bodies, glued the bumpers back on. I was going to attempt to make a mold of it, but the inside, one of the inside clips is broken. Excuse me. Here's the pit garage. As you can see, I always talk about terminal blocks. So here's the main power coming out from underneath the track. We'll hook it on to plug it into the terminal block. As you can see, it's not finished yet. There's all wiring set up for the, pull that out. All right. There's wiring set up for the exit lights in here. We built a false wall into the back to hide all the wiring. So any wire, false wall, and all the wires can come up through that false wall and nobody can see anything. There's actually false. Oh, let me see that. Well, actually, yes, the false ceiling too in the garage. Once this slides over top, which it actually does, believe me, those will. Well, something to that effect. We have the false wall. Actually, you see the crack there. I have to cut off the top of these plastic things on these terminal blocks to give me more room to make it fit, make my false floor fit better. These little grandstand. I have to build, well, I'm going to build 4 more new ones. This has 6 rows of seats. It needs to be high enough, let's see, so I have my whole scale person there. And actually, I think I'm saying 5, but I'm looking, it's gonna have to be 6, because there'd be well, you make a cantina out of the back of here and have more scenery elements of say more or less the person standing in there. Here's this was our grandstand I built off the old Rickadegga. This was underneath a bridge, I believe, on one of the corners. Oh, that's why there's posts. Oh no, it was just, those were just the cutout for the street light post, a 1/2 inch. So it's actually rigged up to go outside of a 12-inch radius corner. Right there. That doesn't fit there. I don't know. Kept this one around. I had one we made I had a Vodafone stand too somewhere. Anyway, just set that out there for now. We'll all be building new ones. And we missed our back to this end on the tour. So we've done the pit garage. Well, there we go. And what? Oh, the balsa wood to screw my so the balsa wood was not thick enough just to screw these terminal blocks in. So what I did was, see up in under there, so I had to make it thicker, so I glued a couple pieces of wood. Those strips there are going to be light bulbs coming through. You can see that light bulb's pushed out a little through. So to screw the terminal blocks in through there, I added, which if anybody looking in the garage would just look like air vents. So that holds those terminal blocks in place. We have the holes all drilled for the lights on the entrance. Like I said, the lights off the exit are on the other half of this. Lights for the garage. Go over here. Like I said, I have to clean up my place. I have, these are whole scale stairs. I've cut. They will ride down in through there. So there's still a bit of sanding to do. Still a little bit of sanding on the edge to get these to fit right, but well, I've made all my measurements right. And they will come up through there. Come up through, and it should be that these model things, the slot car hobby, is everything all at once, it seems. There's so much involved in these slot car tracks. I'm pretty sure train hobby is the same. Everybody, I don't know, when you hear people say, when you tell them that you're building a landscape slot car track, everybody says, oh, I know somebody who's done a train. Yes. I had train set when I was a kid too. We had it on a 4x8 piece of plywood. We had 2 lines, and all I did was race the trains. The one on the inside I was won because the distance around was shorter. Alright, back to the slot car. So there's the pit area. We have some lines painted, the AfX label. I said that fence, we'll put it back over. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Alright, and now we're in the other end. My idea for the layout of this track is a street course, and anybody who's been to Toronto down the Gardner Expressway and Lakeshore Boulevard, you run there, and this is a representation of Carly and Ryan's apartment building. They live pretty much right. You could look off their balcony, and if you leaned out far enough, the Sky Dome was about 4 buildings down. That was a pretty awesome spot. Or I don't know what's it called now, but where the Blue Jays play baseball. Alright, we're in the park area, Stonehenge. There's that. In this area down here, we're going to do the same project that we did to this bank corner as we did on the other end. Actually, I have pieces of track. It's not a bank corner, but pieces of track that'll fit the far side over here, back over to here, so we can still run laps. So when I take the corner off the other end, I think I'm going to put this in progress one back over at the other end to keep the bank corner at that end. I'll put the flat pieces of track here. And we'll still be able to run laps anyways. So when we first bought the racetrack, the AfX Super International, 4 Super G Plus cars. So that's like 2006, I think I bought this. And Michael said like he wasn't very interested in it when it was just set up in the living room on the floor, but once I built the first Rickadegga track, he's like, yeah, it was more interesting. So if you view the Casey Kane and Hornish Jr. track on the other channel there, Modern 1964. You'll see Michael there when he was just a teenager. Here's the last body I molded. There's discoloration there that's in the plastic, but it's still as smooth. Still smooth. I got to sand down the little rough edges. I went to Hobby Shop in Ottawa the other day and got some black paint, Tamiya paint, because testers seems to be hard to find anywhere. Black. Let's just say we have some colors to make some hot rods. And the black and the white. Alright, this is Tamiya X1 black. Well, hopefully, I was using Tester's model paint before. Like I said, you can't seem to find it anywhere. And I'm spraying this through a little airbrush. So hopefully this stuff will work. And so we're going to custom paint some Nomads and Bel Airs. And maybe a pink Cadillac. Is that Envy Green? I think it's close enough. Or Danica Patrick Fluorescent Green. Oh, Plum Crazy. Because that's when my Magnum is painted, Inferno Red. Those are not the names on the paint cans, those are just what I'm aiming for. We're going to do Bass Pro Shops #1. I believe this is from years ago, because this is an Impala SS. So anyways, it was a Martin Truex car back in the day. And I've ordered, well, all they had left from Viper Scale Racing, they had 7 sets of Neo 52 magnets, and I ordered them. I went on there last week and they're out of stock, so I ordered everything that I could get. So we're going to start, well, Mark, what have I got left? I have a couple Mega G chassis left, the 1.7s. I have 3 1.5 Mega Gs left. Enough pickup shoes to last. But short Mega G pickup shoes would be good. Actually a few Mega G tune-up kits. Because I have those Formula 1 Mega G cars, and I have a couple 1.5 Mega G chassis to run. And look at that, I'm not in a major center. I know the internet changes all that, but I like to have a lot of stuff. Overkill. Does anybody else out there in the slot car community know anything about overkill? Alright. So I've unscrewed this track. I did actually have it screwed down once, Aaron. I unscrewed it again. We're going to take this corner off, and there's a couple screws under here. Let's screw this into here that we have to undo. Now this track happens to be a power tap, which that's why I always procrastinate on doing these things. I missed a screw. In the crucial spot, there's that screwdriver over there. From unscrewing the other side. All right. Oh. So we'll get these out of the way. Pull that back a bit. Thinking. All right. So these are power tap. Actually, it looks like I'm going to have to disconnect that power tap. I have to trim. I already have it marked. I'll take this board off once I have that power tap disconnected underneath. I've trimmed about a 1/2 inch off to get, so I can do a sloped edge to this piece of wood on the side of the highway. All right. So, like with everything, there's unforeseen circumstances. I want to move all this camping stuff out of the way because this is just loosen the bolt off, pull the wire, and that'll be it. Loosen the screw off, pull this wire out a bit, pull that one out. Which, oh. Shove that one back, shove the other power wire back on, tighten it back up. There we go, only 7 more to go. Hopefully these ones in the middle come off a little easier. There, that's the way it was supposed to work. Just pull it off. Oh. I'll have to I think the power tap down there by Stonehenge there, I think there's an issue with the lane, either lane 2 or lane 3, the way or whatever you want to count. But I'll have to do that down. We'll do this down there too, I think. I'll have to rip it all apart, so it's not an issue. We'll do it when we fix it. I know on the bridge on the back, all the light bulbs on that first section are, I don't even think they're burned out. I think a wire come off inside, as we saw with the power taps. Even one wire, if the one power wire is off to feed the whole power tap, not the power tap, the terminal block, all the lights won't work. I think that's what happened. I've been reluctant to fix that section because the power tap runs up in there through the it's a 1/2 inch piece of doweling that I drilled the center hole out of. Anyways, alright, so is that all? Yay! So, hopefully they don't get all tangled together here. Try and keep them, straighten them out a bit. but all right. So that power tap's disconnected now. Now we will somewhat carefully pull this out. You can see the wires are long. You see how the wires are just twisted around the rail. I drilled holes on either side, ground the rail down, and just twisted it around. Alright, there. This one, the same thing. Alright. So these two wires, I believe I had to splice an extension on. That's what's getting caught down here. A little bit. Shove it through the hole from underneath. The white, the red. Alright, so they're up through the table there now. Bring them up through the second hole. There. Oh. I said there through here. Well, alright, we'll come back to that. But like I said, this section of track here, there's a power tap right there. So the wires run underneath there through. Well, on the other side, save going underneath. This is 1/2-inch dowel that this has the hole drilled out through the center and runs down through the table for seamless power. Actually, you can see I painted that post a little white there. Oh, anyways, it'll be fine. So it's just this section here has the power tap. These other ones is just the one power wire. So, well, anyways. Oh yeah, mid-air power taps. Yay! There's the. Clean off some of the sawdust. Yeah, this is a construction zone. So I'll get rid of those two screws here. I'll get rid of that track there. I'll take this board off too, trim it, and put it right back on. Because I like to have all lanes running all the time. Doesn't matter what we're doing, but all the lanes running is a good thing, even when you're building stuff like this. Alright, so we'll take these two screws off. See a lift there a little bit. It might look like a mess, but it's measured to precision. All right. Is it all he said it was going to be? Look at that. There we go. So, oh, that one's stuck. So there, I'm holding my bank corner assembly with one hand. All right, so we're going to flip it over. We'll cover all this with the packaging tape because we're going to So we'll glue the things on, and with the other supports too, that'll help keep the shape. Anyways, there we go. Look at that. It's like I got, I think I got $600 for that bank corner on eBay. I'm going to take this board off. We'll trim off the lines that are marked, and we'll put it right back on. We have the other corner here on my workbench. I know my boards are not spaced very good, but it'll work. It will work. We're not going to see that anyways. All right. Oh, real construction zone over here now. And the posts are still pretty sturdy even without the bridge on there. There's just a one screw coming up through the, it's through, well, the table's 3/4 inch plywood, so there's like 2-inch screws into the bottom of each of these legs. This one here too, I screwed it to hold it steady. And this has got a 4-inch screw because it has to come through the, actually a severely countersunk 4-inch screw to come through the 2x4 that runs across the back of the table. Yeah, it's, like I said, it's pretty sturdy. I've trimmed off those edges. Those edges are done. Put it back. Some of these screw holes there. I can drill a new hole. But now we can come off the edge of the track down to that piece with the square pieces of concrete blocks like you see on the highway. That was the idea here. We'll do the edge. This is supposed to be an on-ramp to, like I said, the Gardner Expressway. And all these streets are the lower city streets. It's like probably any modern, any city now, I think they have a raised roadway downtown, or even the trains are running over the streets in a downtown. Except for maybe the Big Dig. Oh, we got it screwed back in place. I just put that screw back in from the fence. Once it's glued, is going to be right over top of that screw, so it shouldn't have any issue. Pretty sure it's not going to be too shake it up anywhere. We'll start reassembling this. Alright, well, I'm going to take this corner off. These 15-inch straight pieces are screwed to the board here. I'll undo those screws. Save mine. Alright, so let's say it's all precariously balanced back here. Oh, there we go. Oh. Well, there we go. There's what the corner looked like before. Like I said, when I decided to start filming these things, I was already in the middle of this project. So what I've done is I've glued little pieces of the 1/4 inch plywood in behind the track to hold the space, and then countersunk screws to give it the rigidity between the corners. Because every time when I didn't have it held solid like this, it was impossible to get the angles properly, because I'm gaining about 2 inches of height as I'm going around the bank corner to go up onto the back bridge. So the angle is all different as to just the bank corner turning flat. I don't know if anybody else out there dealing with bank corners is a pain, but I don't know, I'm a NASCAR fan. You got to have a bank corner. So we'll put this on the end there. I don't know how it's going to fare up with the post just sticking out of the ground, but hopefully it'll work. So I have the bank corner from the other end hooked up on this end, and seems to be just fine. The posts are still supporting it a little bit. They're going to be perfect, but I'm pretty sure the angles maybe aren't going to be the same at the other end on this piece as the piece that was here. Because anyways, so we'll go hook up my flat pieces at the end there and close the track and maybe run a couple of laps. So we have a precariously balanced corner at the far end now. And I know I've got 15-inch radius, 12-inch, 18, a 15, two 12s and a 9. And two 9-inch straights and two 3-inch straights. Replace the 15-inch that is supposed to go there. But it'll be good for now. Let's see how car runs. Oh, corner on the table. We'll get rid of these extra pieces. Oh, and we'll begin. We'll begin gluing the pieces on the bottom and using gravity as our friend this time. And stop down at the other end now, anyways. What is going on? Oh, and Harvick down to rescue him. There we go. If you enjoy my Rickadegga videos, please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.